Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Captain America Brave New World is reportedly adding Wong to continue building the Avengers, as well as Giancarlo Esposito in a 22-day reshoot and Orloni rat meat for sale. This significant of a reshoot after footage from the film was received warmly at CinemaCon, which teased a political crisis involving President Thaddeus Ross, Harrison Ford, positioned to turn into a Red Hulk in this movie, with Samuel Stearns the leader orchestrating a conspiracy to brainwash people like Isaiah Bradley into assassins, can really only be pointing to one part of this movie that must be the target of these revisions: a new opening sequence. What the strike team mission on the Lemurian Star with Batroc the Leaper was to Captain America the Winter Soldier, and the Avengers Lagos mission against Crossbones in Captain America Civil War. I'm 90% certain that's what these reshoots are for. A thrilling opening sequence is the only reason why Marvel Studios under Bob Iger's new leadership would allow this kind of 3-week reshoot. Giancarlo Esposito, I believe, is playing an arms dealer who trades in adamantium, which could tell us what future projects his character might be involved with, and this concerns the discovery of the Millennium that was stolen from a Japanese mining site that President Ross referred to in that press conference in the other trailer footage. Wong is here, meanwhile, because this amounts to an Avenger-level conflict, but the Avengers as we know them are fractured. So let's break down everything we've learned. So last week, after much speculation from Giancarlo Esposito himself at various fan events about his upcoming appearance as a Marvel villain in a role that we had not seen before in an upcoming movie and a series, news was finally made official at the end of the week that he would be joining production for Captain America Brave New World in a 22-day reshoot that would take in feedback from test screenings. And most of the time, a test audience's notes are going to be, I didn't get the ending, or I was kind of bored by the beginning. Julius Ona is directing this film, and Matthew Orton, who previously worked on Marvel's Moon Knight, was brought in to write these new pages all the way back in December. That is what they're shooting now. At first, my pitch for Giancarlo Esposito's character was that he would make a great Henry Peter Gyrick or Bolivar Trask, a man in a suit working within the US political or military establishment, running secret government programs to build up advanced weaponry, running on adamantium that could be used for future Sentinel technology in the Mutant Saga. And the follow-up series I pitched for this character would be as a temporary head of the DoDC, the agency that has stolen all the Stark tech, in a show like Daredevil Born Again or Ironheart. But in the days since, we have been seeing some set photos and set videos of Giancarlo Esposito and his stunt performer, and we are blurring them for you here, but just to describe what we see, Esposito is wearing a trench coat, 3 blades are strapped to his chest, he's wearing military cargo pants and boots, he totes an assault rifle while he just charges through traffic, he kicks a civilian's door closed, and he exchanges fire with someone off screen. We also know from this shoot via photos from Just Jared that Anthony Mackie will be back in something closer to his The Falcon the Winter Soldier era Captain America suit with the white shoulders. It is a version that does not include the cowl that covered his neck and the back of his head. Thank God, because that's like some Val Kilmer Batman inability to turn one's head. Now behind Mackie in some of these photos are blue barrels with labels like pesado, Spanish for heavy, and cuidado, which is Spanish for caution. We've also learned from Atlanta Filming on Instagram that Benedict Wong, playing Wong, will be part of these reshoots. And Alex from Cosmic Circus claims that he's in this to build and recruit Avengers, which sure, that's what Wong is doing every time we see him. Phase 4 has just basically been the Wong cinematic universe. But we also saw a set photo of hanging alien rats in a meat display. These are very large Orloni. Orloni are the alien rats that were introduced in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the ones that Peter Quill kicks and uses as a microphone on Morag, the ones that we see on Nowhere in that bar, and the ones that Groot fights with on the platform when they're fighting the Abyss on the Sovereign in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. These are supposed to be extraterrestrial rats. So what are they doing on Earth? Well, the background in the set photo looks like that same structure that's behind Anthony Mackie in his set photos. We could be looking at a region on Earth that would now have access to extraterrestrial trade, like New Asgard, maybe even Madripoor, or maybe some places just getting a lot of stuff that would be considered rare delicacies on Earth, both stuff you eat and stuff you use. Others have speculated that these Orloni might have lived on the corpse of Tiamat as parasites. In fact, maybe part of the decomposition of Tiamat emits adamantium and these little things eat it and it's in their bellies, and that's where they get it from. I don't know, that idea is kind of crazy. But based on the footage we've seen from this film at CinemaCon earlier this year, and based on what it sounds like Marvel Studios is doing with Giancarlo Esposito's character, I think we can deduce what the sequence might be. You might think that you're just on the internet right now, but you're also somewhere on the globe. And believe it or not, this location has a massive impact on what you can watch online. But it doesn't have to. With the help of ExpressVPN, you can fix that. I use it all the time, whether I'm watching stuff or research for new Rockstars or just for fun. ExpressVPN lets you change your online location with a single click of a button, granting you access to tons of content not normally available in your country. And better yet, they have over 100 countries you can choose to appear from, so you can unlock thousands of new titles with ease. So let's say you want to watch Rick and Morty on Netflix. Well, it's not available in the US version of Netflix, so just use ExpressVPN to tell Netflix you're in the UK and Rick and Morty pops up. I also use the same trick to switch my location to Canada and watch The Shawshank Redemption, which is fitting because ExpressVPN is basically a digital poster of Raquel Welch that hides a tunnel to content freedom. The app works on your phone, laptop, even smart TVs, so that you can watch your shows from the comfort of your couch or on the go. And it's super fast. There is zero buffering. ExpressVPN is my go-to VPN because it's been rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, and countless others, and I get why. It's so easy to use. So to make sure you take advantage of all your streamers have to offer, go to expressvpn.com/newrockstars to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. The CinemaCon footage for Captain America Brave New World include the President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross Harrison Ford, greeting Captain America Sam Wilson after a mission in Mexico. Sam says, "I have to admit, I'm still not used to the new look." President Ross says, "Me either. They said lose the mustache or lose the election. What you did down in Mexico opened my eyes. I have never been a fan of so-called superheroes, but even I can't deny the good you've done. I want Captain America to help me rebuild the Avengers." I think this new action scene that's being shot with Esposito is what Sam did down in Mexico. The barrels are in Spanish, and there's just something about Esposito's movement with the gun in the street that reminds me of the best sequence in Denis Villeneuve's Sicario, where US agents confront 2 cars filled with hostile members of the cartel, and they just move so smoothly and never take their eyes off the target. Like, you gotta imagine every action director who's been pitching that kind of scene to studios for the past decade has probably put that scene in their sizzle reel. They're all like, I would have recreated that scene from Sicario. That's how good it is. And it makes sense that this scene would be at the beginning of the film, maybe even the opening scene, because we see Sam is still wearing that suit from the end of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we know from other images and promotional art and other product releases that Sam will be wearing a new suit in this film. Now, that suit with the white shoulders was built for Sam by the Wakandans, and they would have designed that with the vibranium weave that they typically build all their suits with. That's what makes it Wakandan. So what would happen in this mission that would force Sam to have to upgrade to a new suit from a vibranium suit? What substance is stronger than vibranium, kids? Yes, adamantium! Adamantium has been depicted in past Marvel comics as a man-made alloy that included vibranium with steel, just making it an impossibly stronger version of vibranium. It's becoming more and more clear that adamantium will be at the heart of this conflict in Captain America Brave New World, because shortly after this, in the CinemaCon footage, President Ross delivers a press conference with Sam Wilson and new Falcon, Joaquin Torres, and President Ross credits Sam and Joaquin for retrieving, quote, the discovery of a millennium that had been stolen from a Japanese mining site. So here's what I think happened. The Japanese had this mineral ore and were able to process it into a liquid form known as adamantium. That liquid adamantium was stolen from the Japanese mining site and transferred to Mexico by Giancarlo Esposito's character. That's what's in the barrels. That's why it says caution and heavy. This operation is stopped by Sam Wilson in his Wakandan vibranium suit with Joaquin Torres as backup, but his vibranium is outmatched by new hardened adamantium weaponry wielded by Esposito and his forces. Torres and Wong have to intervene to help Sam finish the job. Now, I kind of feel like Wong's appearance might occur as this opening sequence winds down, kind of as a comedic interlude, just to remind viewers that this is still a Marvel movie and that some form of the Avengers still exists, held together loosely by Wong, but that the Avengers team is mostly out of commission and Sam and Joaquin are really on their own. And then after this opening sequence, the story would veer into a conflict with the leader and Red Hulk. Yeah, now that I say it, that does feel a bit disjointed, but hey, maybe adamantium is at the center of all this, and that's going to be the thematic unifying force. Now, why did Marvel Studios drag in a Moon Knight writer to hastily rewrite this opening, and why are they casting Giancarlo Esposito in this action-heavy role? Who is he playing? Well, based on this being a Moon Knight writer, some have speculated Raoul Bushman. Raoul Bushman was a former US Marine and mercenary who used to be Mark Spector's partner. Raoul had turned against Mark and tried to kill him.
Went work for hire for my old CO Bushman. The job was to raid an Egyptian tomb. Bushman changed the plan, called for no witnesses, and I couldn't live with that.
Moon Knight head writer Jeremy Slater at the time said he tried to get Bushman into the Moon Knight series, but claimed that the mercenary was just too similar to the MCU version of Killmonger, and also said that the character is still out there somewhere in the MCU, but isn't sure if he still has a face. If Esposito is now playing Raoul Bushman, that would be a bit ironic given what happens to Esposito's face in Breaking Bad. Now, yes, I think we can all admit it feels a bit odd that Giancarlo Esposito would now be cast as merely this one-off character mentioned in a single line in Moon Knight, and Moon Knight of all titles, in a Captain America movie. Especially if they want Giancarlo Esposito to come back in a Disney Plus series after this. Like, I think we can agree here. We don't want Esposito to be quickly thwarted and then forgotten about the way Batroc and Crossbones were in the past 2 Captain America movies. I want his character to be a fearsome, ongoing presence in the MCU. And I think the way you do that is just name him whatever you want, but make him the man with the secrets to adamantium. This is the only guy in the world who knows where to find it, how to process it, and how best to weaponize it. And if you give him that role, he could show up in any MCU title after this. In fact, I wonder if in this scene the bullets Esposito's character is firing might be made of adamantium, and they could blast real holes in Sam's vibranium shield and tear apart the wings of his suit. And if adamantium beats vibranium every time, what does that mean for Wakanda? Like, would it now be Sam's turn to save the people of Wakanda from Western nations desperate to gain any military superiority over them? Comment down below with your thoughts on all this. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.